My fiance's already started planning the wedding and all this stuff, so she got the invites printed, and I may have told her a little bit of a lie that.
Hey, you're already off to a bad jump, man.
Well, Kip Moore, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
I want to start. You have a song called Beer Money.
I do.
We're at a festival currently in Lasso.
Yeah, we are.
If you were attending, what percentage of the budget, in Kip Moore's opinion, should be allocated strictly to beer money?
Well, it depends on how much they're charging for the beers, but I would say $40.
$40?
$40.
Okay, and what's the full budget? How much are you bringing?
Well, I would say $40 is what I bring, and it would all be on beer.
And so 100% of the budget is on beer.
yeah. I'd eat before I came.
You're headed back to Australia in a couple months.
Yes, I am.
For a second time. What's the country scene like in Australia?
It depends from artist to artist. We have an amazing fan base there, and they're definitely much like Canada and the States. I mean, they love country music, but they're very they're gonna pick who they like.
Okay.
Much like England in that sense, where you're not gonna tell them who they're supposed to like.
Right.
It doesn't mean just because you're if you're super popular in the States that you're super popular there.
Okay.
They pick, I feel like sometimes in America, if someone's really popular, the whole train starts going with that.
Right.
Where they're more like, we're gonna wait to see after we watch and listen if we like it or we don't.
Okay.
You know?
I saw Chase Royce post a picture with you 7 years ago at a Preds game saying
wow.
we're growing out our playoff beards.
Oh, wow.
I see you've trimmed it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit trimmed up.
But obviously in Canada, we breathe hockey. Have you gotten out to many Preds games?
I've probably been to a handful.
A handful?
And I love it. I would say this year, I got into the playoffs more than I've ever gotten into it.
Okay.
The most I've ever watched it on TV, because I didn't grow up with it in the South. There was
Right.
no hockey, so it's such a foreign thing to me. But I've grown to love it as I've grown to understand the game. And I think with Edmonton being in the Cup this year, and I knew that they hadn't, been in it in so long, and my love for Canada, it was like I was pulling so hard for them.
And they were right there. They just couldn't get it across the line.
Almost.
So that picture was in 2017. I feel like the Preds have had such a revitalization of the atmosphere in the game, and I feel like it comes so much from the college football scene in the South. It seems like it's such a party down there.
It is. I went to the Preds playoffs when they were in the Stanley Cup, and it was bonkers. But Nashville they get all of us artists to play in the streets before the games,
right.
And it's just such a special environment when the Preds are in it.
As a Canadian, I love to see the game grow. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like for so many years,
For sure.
it was locked up.
I would have loved to have had a chance to play hockey growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game, and it's so fast.
That was the thing, is I was quick with, my basketball was my sport, and I just would have loved to try that with the fast twitch muscle fibers.
And anything on ice just makes everything a little more interesting.
Yeah.
I have got myself into a little bit of a predicament that I need
Okay.
to get your help with.
All right.
So I just got engaged 2 weeks ago.
All right.
And my fiance's already started planning the wedding and all
Okay.
this stuff. So she got the invites printed, and I may have told her a little bit of a lie that.
Hey, you're already off to a bad jump, man.
I told her that getting Sam Hunt to play at the wedding would be no problem.
Okay, you lied on that one.
Yeah, so she's gone ahead and she's printed our wedding invites, and if you just flip it over, you'll see a little bit of my predicament.
I'll give it to him. I was just with him a minute ago, so I'll give it to him.
So I'm talking to him in about an hour,
Yeah.
and I'm going to hand deliver it to him.
There you go.
What do you think I should say to convince him to play?
I would say the first thing you need to say is that you have $500,000 to give him,
Okay.
and then he might think about it.
Okay, so that's the first step, is a $500,000.
Yeah, $500,000. That's what you got to say.
Okay, and then I was hoping to ask for another favor and see if I could get you on as well, because that would add some legitimacy to my claim.
All right, $250.
$250, so I need $750. Okay, the budget just shot through the roof.
Yeah, there you go, man. I'll think about it.
Awesome. Well, Kip, I know you're getting ready to hit the stage soon, so
You bet, man. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Nice
It was
to meet
great
you.
to meet you.
You bet.
I appreciate your time.
You bet, man.